Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Straight Talk on Social Media. This is Ian Desher, Digital Marketing Specialist from Pivot Group, talking to you on this Friday morning our time, afternoon possibly your time. And I want to thank you all for being here with us. This will be our next to last webinar of the year. We'll do this again in 2 weeks on the 16th, and then Pivot offices will be closed between Christmas and New Year's, so we won't be here on the 30th. But I wanted to welcome you all and say thanks for joining me. We'll go ahead and we'll be talking today about choosing your keywords, how you pick the keywords that are best for you and your company as you do things like optimize your site for search engines and also get into the world of Google Adwords. And we'll look at some tools that you can use to do that. But first, let's talk about some of the recent news from the last few weeks. First of all, it's been announced that Facebook is, it looks like will be going public sometime between April and June of 2012, and so that will be something for us all to sort of watch. They are looking for an initial public offering valuation of $10 billion, which is huge and far more than most technology companies. I think when Google first had its IPO, it was between 1 and 2 billion. So Facebook really looking to have a big start, and we'll follow that and let you know what happens. Speaking of Google, it looks like Google may be doing away with the black bar that appears at the top of your screen. This is social media related insofar as it will affect how Google Plus looks. But what you're seeing on the screen here, this image, looks like it may be the new way that Google is going to navigate you through their possibilities for searching and their other services that they have. So the black bar had been controversial among Google users. Some people liked it, other people absolutely hated it, didn't want it across all of their Google services, and it looks like Google has listened to some of that criticism and maybe unrolling something like this fairly soon. Path, if you remember, it was several months ago at this point, I introduced in our one to watch section, I talked about Path, and what Path is it's a photo sharing social media network that operates on your cell phone and lets you share photos among your network of friends. What was unique about Path when it first came out was that they were limiting you to 50 friends. They were saying, look, we really want social media to be truly social and to really be about just your friends, and so we're going to limit you to having 50 people. Well, it sounds like they have succumbed to some user pressure, and they've now increased their friend limit on Path to 150 friends. So they've tripled what they had let you do beforehand. And I think this is it's an interesting concession that Path has made. You know, part of me thinks, well, it's you know, allowing for the fact that yes, some people actually really do have friends that they can call true friends beyond the number 50. And some of me thinks that it's sort of just this inevitable creep with social media that people really like to be connected to more and more people, which is why things like Twitter and Facebook have become so popular, because you're allowed to connect with thousands of people, even those who may not be your closest. So interesting to see Path, which had originally made a name for itself by having a small number of friends, starting to expand that number a bit. And in our one to watch this week, it's actually a Facebook product. There's lots of rumors and speculation going on right now about Facebook releasing its own phone. It appears that Facebook has been in talks recently with a company that does software and hardware for phones, and they're talking about possibly using the Android platform. But what would be unique about this phone, of course, would be that Facebook would be completely integrated with whatever you did on it. So if you were browsing the web, there would be really easy access to sharing things through Facebook. and all the messaging on the phone would happen through Facebook's messaging system, things like that. So it's an interesting thing to wonder about. Facebook at this point is not commenting on the possibility of a Facebook phone, but again, it does look like something that that could be happening in the future, and obviously we'll let you know about it if it becomes more of a known reality. So with that, let's go ahead and go into the focus, straight talk on choosing your keywords. And before I talk about some of our recommendations and tips and tools, first I just want to talk about why keywords are important. In this era that we're in now of searching online being so important for how companies are found, and just the prevalence of Google as a as a means for people to find things, and other search engines, of course, as well, Bing and Yahoo, both with a healthy market share of the searching world. Keywords and knowing what your keywords are and focusing on your keywords are vital to search engine optimization, to making sure that your website is ready to be found on search engines and is ranking as high as possible for certain search terms that you identify as being key to your business. And also for things like Google Adwords, whenever you place an online ad through Google Adwords, you're actually asked to put in some keywords that are going to be likely for how people find you. What words people might put into a Google search bar that would be related to your company if they see an ad at the top related to that keyword. So keywords have just become a really important issue and something that, as we do more website development and more social media work here at Pivot, we're focusing more on. So I want to talk about 5 sort of steps that you should take as you are thinking about choosing your and a couple of them are sort of fall in the realm of general advice, and the last 3 are some tools that you can actually go and use to figure out which keywords are going to be best for you. So the first step you should take, just describe what it is that your company does and describe it plainly. Think about what it is that your company provides, and when it comes to, and you want to do it plainly. I added that plainly at the end because you really should be doing it in terms that people are going to be searching for, not necessarily the terms that you use around the office to talk about your own products. And a great example is our friends in the telecom industry. We often talk about voice service or data service, things like that, when really most people, most average consumers out there are talking about phone service or internet service. They're not using voice and data as much. And so that's what I mean by describing what you do plainly. Think about the keywords that describe what it is that your company provides to people and how you are a benefit to them. And let those be a part of your mix as you're thinking about keywords. Second, take your location into account. If you are a locally based company, then you want to think about how your whether or not your local city name, town name, your state name should be incorporated into the keywords that you're using. When we talk about choosing keywords, I maybe should have said a minute ago, what we're really sort of doing is saying, we're going to pick a few keywords that describe the company, and those words are going to be used prominently in our website, both in page titles and in alt tags for images, and in the actual copy for the website, so that when search engines come along and crawl your website, those are the keywords that are popping up most frequently. So again, taking your location into account, if you want to be or if you are a locally based company and you want to make sure that you are associated with that community, then thinking about having that name of that local area within your keyword bucket is going to be important. And then in terms of actually finding out which specific keywords are going to be most useful and most important, the most important tool out there and the one that's going to be probably most helpful to you is the Google AdWords keyword tool. And literally you can Google that phrase and you will be taken right there. And I'm going to show you a few screenshots of what the Google AdWords keyword tool does. So when you first go there to this keyword tool, what you can do is you can enter in a word or a phrase. You can enter in a website to find out what keywords are related to that website. So if you had a competitor's website and you wanted to see sort of what keywords went along well with that website, that would be good. A category, that's where if you can put in your industry name, that sort of thing, and that's going to help you with some keywords. What I did as an example was just to put in the word telephone. I'll show you that in just a minute to show you what sort of keywords it came up with. But another option here, only show ideas closely related to my search terms. If you click that option, then it's only going to show you keywords that actually have the word or phrase that you've put up here in the top in it. So if I put telephone up here and I click this box, it's only going to show me keyword phrases that have the word telephone in it. So just looking here at that option, when I put in telephone, first of all, it's giving you such useful information here. And I'll talk a little bit about what this information all means in a minute. I'll show you what Google's definitions of them. But first of all, it's showing me the main search term, telephone, and then it's showing me a bunch of other keyword ideas. Now, it has given me 100, though I'm only showing you the first dozen or so here. But, when you think of telephone, well, telephone number is another one, telephone numbers, telephone book, the telephone area codes, and finally we get down at the last one I'm showing here, the telephone service. And it's going to show you what the competition is for these kinds of keywords based on how many advertisers are going after that sort of that keyword phrase for their ads. So international telephone card and telephone number lookup, interestingly, those are two keyword phrases where the competition is really high. And part of how Google determines the competition number is not only how many people are placing ads for that keyword, but it's also relative to the number of global monthly searches. So here you see international telephone card. That has about 60,500 monthly searches on Google. So the competition for that is really high, not necessarily because there are so many advertisers going after that phrase, but because for the amount of advertisers going after that phrase with the amount of monthly searches there are, that's what makes the competition high. And here you can see the difference between that and telephone number lookup, which also has a high competition, but also has a much higher global monthly search. So you're getting a ton of information here. You're also seeing the local monthly search, which has to do with the area that you've specified for your particular area. How many of those searches are for that local area itself.